This is the book of Mark, chapter 13, verse 7, and it reads, And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars, but see that ye be not troubled, for such things must need be, but the end is not yet. Not be yet, Slaki. Luke 21 and 9 through verse 11, and it reads, But when ye shall hear of wars and commotions, be not terrified, for these things must first come to pass, but the end is not by and by. Verse 10, Then say unto them, Nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. Luke 21 and 11, And great earthquakes shall be in divers places, famines and pestilence, fearful sights and great signs shall there be from heaven. Similar precept. Matthews 24, verse 6 to verse 7. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars, see that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. Verse 7, For nation shall rise against nations, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilence and earthquakes in diverse places. Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praises and glory and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Warkar Kradash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, preaching the word truthfully and sincerely. And shalom to the Akim scattered through the four corners of the globe, preaching the word truthfully and sincerely. And shalom to the Akim that be like unto the speckled bird, preaching the word truthfully and sincerely. I say shalom to you Akim out there on this September the 12th, 2022 at 11:42 a.m. Central Standard Time on this Monday morning in the a.m. And this is a news article from the Jerusalem Post, published by Jeremy Bob on September 12, 2022, and last updated at September 12, 2022 from the Jerusalem Post. And the highlight of this news article, and it reads for in the news today on this September 12, 2022, on this Monday morning, and it reads, Mossad head, Israel will defend itself, deal or no deal. Iran is not immune. It says, once the deal is signed, he said there will be no restraint on Iran terror, with the huge sums of money that will be given to the Islamic Republic. Mossad throttled dozens of terrorist attacks against Israelis and Jews worldwide. Mossad Chief David Barnea revealed on Monday in a first public speech he gave since taking office last June. Speaking at the ICT Herozalah conference, he said, We throttled dozens of Iranian terrorist attacks against the Israeli/Jews, which stopped attacks in Cyprus against a businessman in Turkey. We stopped attacks against a businessman and diplomats. It says the ordained visits, as in Colombia, we saved a businessman as well as many other places. This is a state terror order by leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, if I pronounce his name right, perpetrated by the IRGC and other Iranian organizations are not spontaneous but planned, systematic, and strategic terrorist acts, he said. Barnea said that there is no Islamic Republic of Iran. It is a terror republic of Iran. Over the past few months, Israeli attendants has throttled a number of attempts of terrorist attacks on Israelis and Jews throughout the world, specifically in Turkey, Greece, and Colombia, that were operated by Iranian terrorist cells. It says, what about the nuclear deal? Once the deal is signed, he said there will be no restraint on Iran terror. So, so you know what? So even if he said if they potentially United States, the representation of the United States and the representation of Iran, even if they do make some good progress of the revival of the 2015 nuclear deal, which I highly doubt, because I believe like a week or two ago, because the United States has put more sanctions on Iran. I believe it was some groups that was affiliated with Iran, and the United States put more sanctions on them. And then the representations on Iran's side made a statement. They condemned the United States for sending sanctions on the representation of Iran. So at this time right now, I definitely don't see no nuclear deal being. It might be some talks or a little progress, but at the moment right now, I just don't see no signed deal of a revival of the nuclear deal, because you're going to still have tensions between the United States and Iran, and most definitely Israel versus Iran as well too, which is the Israelis versus the Iranians, Hezbollah, you name it, you know. It says, with no screens, Iran tells will be a huge sum of money that will be given to the Islamic Republic, emphasizing that there is only one short-term solution. The Iranian terrorist is a set part of Iranian threat. Many countries all over the world. It is a central aspect of the Ayatollah's worldview. Mossad head David Bernal added that probe was open about the International Atomic Energy, the IAEA, into sites of enrichment uranium cannot be closed despite Iran's demand, as that will only lead to nuclear escalations. If Iranian proxies come for us, we will hit them directly. So yeah, hey, that's a huge rumor of war right there, you know. Because, you know, as I mentioned in my previous videos, you know, the modern day state of Israel right now, you know, the IDF soldiers and their military and the prime minister of Israel, you know, they still look at Iran as a big threat, not only to the United States and allies around the world as well too. They look at Iran as a big threat, and still to this day. So, you know, that those tensions are definitely increasing between Iran and Israel. And, you know, as he stated, you know, even if a deal be signed and deal, you know, they still gonna try all their best to make sure that Iran doesn't touch anybody that's affiliated with the United States and with Israel and the allies as well too. So Israel is going to do all its best to try to fully stop Iran with their nuclear capability and a potential military war type move on Israel and the United States and its allies as well too. So these tensions are definitely increasing between Israel and Iran. It's gonna increase more and more and more in the latter days. That's why we're seeing these nations rising up against nations. Because these two nations, Israel and Iran, they definitely got some high hostility towards one another. And they definitely look at one another as adversaries. They're going to continue to look at one another as adversaries. So yeah, hey, these wars and rumors of wars are definitely heating up. And it's going to fully lead to World War III, which is recorded in the book of Revelations 11 and 14, you know. So with that, I hope this update news in regards to wars and rumors of wars, nations rising up against nations, increasingly more than ever, because the wars and rumors of wars are definitely heating up. And these rumors of wars are definitely coming a reality as it's starting to heat up more and more. It had cooled down a little bit, but it's going to increase once again. Especially tensions in the Middle East. The tensions in the Middle East are going to increase as well too, especially with the Russia-Ukraine thing. From what I'm hearing, Ukraine retook some parts in that region, but Russia's still firing back. So that war is still gonna continue to escalate, even though some of the Russia's soldiers retreated at some of the areas, but Russia's still firing back at them. So that war is still gonna continue on as well too. You're still gonna have tensions going on in the Middle East as well too. So it's gonna be continuing proxy wars, endless wars, clash wars between the nations and different kingdoms. It's like city against city, kingdom against kingdom. And as we're going to see these continuing upticks of these nations rising up against one another. And it's going to continue more and more and more. Even though it might have times, it might cool down a little bit, but it's going to escalate right back up as well too. But other than that, I hope this edifying lesson through the spirit, power, grace, and mercy of Yahweh Shai. And first and foremost, I'd like to give all praises and glory and honor to Yahweh Ba'Shem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'Shem, Bakar Kadash. Double honors to the elders, apostles, of great millstone, pushing the word truthfully and sincerely. And shalom to the Akim, scattered through four corners of the globe, pushing the word truthfully and sincerely. And shalom to the Akim that be like unto the speckled bird, pushing the word truthfully and sincerely. And until next time, before I close out this lesson on September the 12th, 2022 at 11:52 a.m. Central Standard Time on this Monday morning. So, these tensions are definitely increasing more than ever between Israel and Iran, and expect to see these tensions increase more and more and more. That will lead more further closer to World War III, which is recorded in the book of Revelations 11:14. Second woe was past, behold, the third woe coming quickly. And we are definitely approaching closer and closer to that World War III. Second woe was past, behold, third woe coming quickly. So with that, I will say shalom and a ball.